Wayne Carini. You know him from his TV show Chasing Classic Cars and from his award-winning podcast he did with us from SEMA. If somebody saw your show, they saw how this whole thing came together.
Wayne Carini became a household name chasing down and restoring some of the rarest classic cars, captivating viewers with his passion and expertise. But behind the scenes, his business ventures hit turbulence, drawing the attention of lawsuits and stirring questions about what really happened to the man fans once saw on every episode. Is Wayne still restoring cars, or did setbacks force a step back? From business drama to personal struggles, the story of Wayne Carini unfolds far beyond the showroom and auction block, revealing surprising twists that few expected. Rise of a classic car icon. Wayne Carini made a name for himself not just as a restorer, but as a storyteller. On his hit show, Chasing Classic Cars, he captured hearts by tracking down rare vintage vehicles and bringing their histories to life. Viewers were drawn to his genuine passion and deep respect for automotive heritage, watching as he navigated everything from rusty barn finds to high-profile auctions. For years, Wayne embodied the ideal of the classic car enthusiast, blending expert knowledge with an authentic, approachable personality. His expertise wasn't limited to restoration. It extended into buying and selling, managing private collections, and advising collectors around the world. This combination helped him build a reputation as one of the foremost figures in the classic car community. Fans admired not only his skill, but also his commitment to preserving automotive culture for future generations. The show's success reflected this connection, establishing Wayne as a trusted and beloved figure across multiple platforms. Chasing Classic Cars premiered in 2008 and quickly became a must-watch series for car lovers. The program's format was simple yet effective. Wayne's team sought out intriguing vehicles, revealed their stories, and often restored them to showroom condition. Alongside him was Barr, a longtime friend and gifted mechanic whose quiet work behind the scenes became a key part of the show's appeal. Their teamwork provided an honest, human element that set the show apart from typical reality TV. But every success story has its shadows, especially when it slides from a passion project into the world of business. Running restoration shops and dealership operations like F40 Motorsports and Carini Cozzaria brought new challenges that even some fans outside the industry might not imagine. The show, for its part, gave a polished, almost drama-free arc. Yet in real life, buying and selling classic cars is usually way more tangled, with high stakes and that fragile layer of trust you can't really fake. Wayne's been pretty straightforward about the pressure of keeping a business afloat in today's economy. He said that, while his manager takes care of most of the client conversations, he still has to carry the consequences personally when things go sideways. That kind of direct involvement shows the thin boundary he's walking between being a trusted dealer and the simple fact that now and then disputes happen anyway. It's sort of a reminder that behind the scenes of that beloved show, there's a demanding and sometimes unforgiving market reality. People might not realize that Wayne's world includes intense negotiations, tangled legalities, and, every so often, real clashes. The stakes are high. Millions of dollars can be involved while still trying to keep a sterling reputation. That careful push between devotion and professionalism helped shape the Carini brand. But it also put him in situations that later would show up in plain sight. What looked like a simple restoration and sales kind of went sideways. When questions started coming up about Wayne's current direction, things moved away from the television vibe and toward what happened out of view behind closed doors. Even if lots of folks still link him with the good feeling of classic car hunting, his business practices and legal challenges painted a tougher, more uneven portrait. The story wasn't only about the cars anymore, it was about trust, accountability, and the real costs of operating in a niche market. This leading thought sets the stage for one of the most significant incidents that tested Wayne Carini's reputation. An intricate lawsuit that would expose the hidden pitfalls of the classic car world and change how people viewed the dealer they thought they knew. The Pierce Arrow lawsuit saga. At the center of one of Wayne Carini's most challenging moments was a 1934 Pierce Arrow coupe entangled in a legal battle spanning years and continents. The saga began in 2010 when Australian collector Robert Richmond aimed to purchase this rare vehicle during a visit to the United States. Unable to handle the transaction personally, Richmond entrusted the deal to a fellow car restorer named Gary Dixo, a common practice in the tight-knit restoration community. The plan was clear. Gary would inspect, purchase, restore, and ship the Pierce Arrow to Australia after receiving a substantial down payment of $98,000. Unfortunately, that plan never materialized as intended. Weeks turned into months, and eventually years, without Richmond receiving his car. The relationship between Richmond and Dixo deteriorated, exacerbated when Dixo declared bankruptcy in 2016 while still in possession of the vehicle. By 2017, Dixo sold the Pierce Arrow without informing Richmond, setting off a chain of events that drew Wayne Carini into the picture. Wayne's involvement began when Gullwing Motors, a vintage car dealership, brought him on to appraise the vehicle. Importantly, Wayne had no prior knowledge of the original agreement or the unpaid buyer's situation. His role was initially limited to professional valuation. After assessing the coupe's value between $100,000 and $120,000, Wayne expressed interest and eventually purchased the car for $110,000. The sale involved a certificate of ownership, legally transferred from Dixo to Gullwing, then to Wayne, seemingly solidifying the transaction. With proper paperwork in hand, Wayne proceeded with his business operations, unaware of the brewing storm. Soon after, RM Auctions reached out to Wayne to sell the Pierce Arrow, but Wayne kinda saw a chance at profit, and so he put a really hefty asking price on it, $250,000. Surprisingly, RM Auctions accepted, and later they sold the car for $275,000. So there was this tidy gain there. Still though, the real owner, Richmond, wasn't told anything. He stayed unaware until the car showed up on the auction listing, out in the open. Once Richmond noticed it, he did what you'd expect. He went looking for a legal remedy. He contacted the people involved and somehow managed to convince the last auction buyer to bring the vehicle back to RM Auctions. Even with assurances from Wayne's side, including F40 Motorsports, the car still would not fully return to Richmond. That was when Richmond got frustrated and filed a lawsuit in 2018 against Wayne, his businesses, Gullwing Motors and others, basically trying to reclaim ownership. During the case, it came out that Dixo had obtained the car title in his own name fraudulently, which is kind of the whole betrayal thing. After review, the court ruled for Richmond in June 2020, and it condemned Dixo's actions as embezzlement. Wayne and the other parties were cleared of wrongdoing, but they were ordered to refund Richmond for the purchase price, plus the restoration costs that later buyers had racked up. Even so, Wayne's reputation didn't just bounce back. The classic car world runs on trust and a pretty sharp reputation, and even an unintentional connection to a mess like this can plant doubt in clients and fans alike. Holding the car during the dispute only intensified scrutiny, making it one of the most public tests of Wayne's business integrity. Customer disputes and controversies. The Pierce Arrow case was not the only business challenge Wayne Carini faced during his career. In 2011, another customer dispute arose involving a high-profile sale of a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo. A buyer, known online as Joe3112D, claimed the car was misrepresented during the sale, specifically regarding a luxury luggage package valued at around $8,000 that was listed in the advertisement but was missing at delivery. This package wasn't a minor detail. It was a premium accessory designed to perfectly fit the car's small storage areas. According to the buyer, the presence of the luggage was a key factor in his decision to purchase the vehicle from Wayne's dealership, F40 Motorsports. Once the car arrived without the promised package, the buyer immediately raised concerns with the dealership. Initially, Wayne and his salesman, Mike Roberts, assured the client that the issue would be resolved promptly. Promises were made over weeks, but communication gradually stopped, with emails and phone calls going unanswered. The prolonged silence deepened the buyer's frustration, leading him to label F40 Motorsports as deceptive and accuse Wayne of avoiding direct accountability. After months without resolution and no response to a legal notice, the buyer filed a formal lawsuit against Wayne and his company. Included in the legal filing was a saved copy of the original advertisement listing the luggage package, which, intriguingly, had been removed from the internet by the time the case was made public. This disappearance added an extra layer of suspicion to the dispute. While the lawsuit never went to trial, it attracted public attention when the buyer shared his experience on Lamborghini Talk, a popular online forum. Wayne personally responded via email after the legal action, stating that the previous owner had located the missing luggage. Within a week, the buyer received the luggage along with a spare key he had previously requested, but was told did not exist. Mike Roberts explained, sort of, that the car itself was never advertised with 2 keys, but the luggage package had actually been listed, and it just wasn't there at the delivery. Later on, the buyer said they felt relieved that everything was finally handled, though they also said the whole thing never should have ballooned into such extremes. In their view, a bit more timely communication could have stopped the drawn-out dispute before it got that far. Looking back, this situation seemed to keep showing up in Wayne's business interactions. Communication gaps, follow-through that kinda slipped, and it all ended up making reputations look worse than they really were. For a high-end dealership like F40 Motorsports, professionalism and quick responsiveness matter a lot, so the miss here left a visible stain. Still, Wayne kept a big footprint in the classic car scene, showing some real resilience even while dealing with the fallout. The legal entanglements and customer conflicts set the stage for a deeper look into the world behind the camera, revealing personal and professional dynamics that would ultimately shape the end of chasing classic cars and Wayne's current journey. Behind Roger Barr's disappearance, chasing classic cars succeeded because of more than Wayne Carini's passion. Behind the scenes, it relied on skilled people whose knowledge and personalities made the show feel authentic. One of the most important was Roger Barr, Wayne's longtime friend and trusted mechanic. Roger's technical experience was extensive. He had served as a mechanic in the United States Air Force and reportedly worked as a backup driver connected to Porsche's racing program in Germany. His combination of discipline, mechanical skill, humor, and honesty made him a fan favorite. Although he rarely sought attention, many viewers considered Roger one of the show's most genuine personalities. Over time, however, fans noticed that Roger appeared less frequently. Rumors spread about his disappearance, but the real reason involved serious health problems. In 2017, Roger suffered a severe leg infection that required hospitalization. Although he recovered enough to continue working occasionally, knee surgery and rehabilitation prevented him from returning to a full-time role at F40 Motorsports. His situation sort of became more controversial when reports claimed that Roger hadn't been paid separately for appearing on the show. Fans were, surprised, because his knowledge and personality had helped the whole thing a lot with the success. Things got even more troubling once Roger's wife put together a GoFundMe campaign to help cover his medical expenses, and, yeah, it raised a bunch of concerns. People started wondering about how reality television programs compensate and support folks working behind the scenes. Viewers kept asking how someone so important to a successful series could still end up under big financial pressure during a health crisis. It just didn't feel to them like it matched. Even with all that, Roger kept chasing his passion. Later, he worked with Paddock Car Restorations in New Britain, Connecticut, and co-workers basically celebrated his experience, plus that steadiness and dedication he had. Roger's story showed a less glamorous angle of classic car television. Beyond the shiny restorations and the exciting auctions, real people were dealing with health problems, financial strain, and an uncertain future. And his absence also made many fans feel like the show lost some of that sincerity and heart that originally made it special. Yet Roger's story was only part of the picture. The factors that led to the show's end extended beyond personal health issues, spilling into broader economic and production challenges that foreshadowed the conclusion of an era. Personal challenges and family life. Away from auctions, television cameras, and restoration shops, Wayne Carini's strongest commitment has always been to his family. He and his wife, Lori, have been married since 1980, building a lasting relationship that has remained steady throughout the pressures of Wayne's public career. Their marriage has largely stayed private, giving Wayne a dependable foundation behind the scenes. One of the family's most personal challenges involved their eldest daughter, Kimberly, who was diagnosed with autism at a young age. The condition can affect communication, behavior, and social interaction, often requiring patience, specialized support, and long-term care. Wayne and Lori faced the diagnosis with openness and love, focusing on giving Kimberly the resources and encouragement she needed. Rather than hiding their experience, the Carini family became advocates for autism awareness. Wayne used his public platform to encourage understanding and help reduce the stigma surrounding the condition. He has often spoken proudly about Kimberly and the important role she plays in their family. Their advocacy also kind of extended beyond their home, and you could tell it wasn't just a casual thing. Wayne supported autism-related causes and organizations, including Autism Family Connecticut, while taking part in events that helped raise funds and awareness for families dealing with similar challenges. Trying to balance family responsibilities with a demanding automotive career was, not always easy. Wayne would frequently travel for auctions, car shows, restorations, and even television production. Still, his commitment to his wife and children stayed right at the center. Of course, it never really shifted. Wayne also finds happiness in sharing his love of cars with his grandson. He brings him to museums, local car meets, and general automotive events, hoping to pass down the knowledge and the enthusiasm that shaped his own life. These personal stories show a side of Wayne that viewers did not always see on television. Behind the rare cars and the successful deals is a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and an advocate of sorts. Even through difficult moments, Wayne's family has remained his greatest source of strength, and it reminds him that his most meaningful legacy reaches way beyond the automotive world, even if that's where people usually look first. His story, both personal and professional, continues to evolve, opening new chapters even as the old ones close. Wayne Carini's next chapter. Even after Chasing Classic Cars aired its final episode in August 2021, Wayne Carini remained deeply involved in the automotive world. He continues restoring classic vehicles, managing businesses such as F40 Motorsports, attending auctions, and searching for rare cars with unique histories. Wayne's work now combines hands-on restoration with the demands of running several businesses. He must negotiate deals, maintain client relationships, and adapt to an increasingly competitive classic car market. While his love for working on vehicles remains strong, modern entrepreneurship has become an equally important part of his career. Wayne, beyond the cars, still stays locked in on autism awareness. After his daughter Kimberly got diagnosed, the family started leaning into organizations that help people with autism and also the families around them. Wayne then used his public platform, plus automotive events, to bring in donations, boost visibility, and back causes that feel really personal to him. And yeah, the family part matters a lot. Wayne likes spending time with his grandson, and he wants to pass down his love for classic cars. So, by taking him to museums, local meets, and other automotive happenings, Wayne is kind of sharing years of know-how with the next group coming up. Even if his TV presence has kind of slowed down, people still talk about him maybe coming back, maybe through Speed Vision or some other automotive media project. Whether he's in front of the camera or doing things behind the scenes, his impact inside the industry doesn't really shrink. His decades of experience still make him a trusted voice among collectors, restorers, and longtime automotive fans. He also continues inspiring younger enthusiasts who hope to build careers around preserving classic vehicles. Wayne has had legal fights too, business trouble, and personal setbacks that weren't exactly small. Still, he keeps going. He doesn't let controversy write the whole script of his career. In the end, it's a story about drive, resilience, and change. Restoration expert and television personality, then turning into a businessman, an advocate, and a family guy. Wayne has built something that goes much farther than the cars he restores. Whatever happens next, his commitment to craftsmanship, family, and the community should stay right at the center of his journey. Wayne Carini's story is more than a show about cars. It's a tale of passion, trust, and resilience. From triumphs on screen to battles behind the scenes, he keeps moving forward, restoring not just classics, but also his legacy. If you enjoyed this look into Wayne's journey, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the stars. Now, click the video on your screen to uncover another incredible story that proves reality is often more surprising than television. Thanks for watching.